What is up, Hardcore Nation? It's Hardcore Christopher here. And remember back when I was reading fanfiction? Well, turns out there's a fanfiction.net app. So, I'm going to go through every Yu-Gi-Oh! Fanfiction you see here, starting with The Future is Golden. So, let's just get into reading. The Future is Golden by that person. An unnamed Battle City contestant challenges ishzu Ishtar to a duel. Can he overcome the power of the Millennium Necklace? Features an actual Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel. So that's the selling point of the story. Interesting. Let's go ahead and read this. I don't know why. This work deserves to win a literary competition. The duel is brief, but the elegance is in its simplicity. The reader goes in with the expectation of dude gonna get wrecked because LOL canon. The ishzu even has a self-assured attitude in her introduction. However, the author twists that expectation by showing ishzu's loss to a burn deck. How does ishzu possibly make a comeback when she's supposed to give up her only locator card? She just keeps it. And then ishzu references the duel. Burn decks are illegal. We now have a standoff between the protagonist and ishzu. It's time for her past as a tomb keeper and her foresight ability to shine. Center stage. ishzu's foresight lets her know that the protagonist needs money. This allows ishzu to come prepared with the trinket that she has access to in her role as tomb keeper to pay him off with such a with to pay him off with a huge cash sum, which benefiting a minor character, befitting a minor character, is a peanut compared to the obelisk that ishzu used to pay off Kaiba. For the protagonist's locator card, I would be hard pressed to come up with a more ishzu-like resolution. In juxtaposition to the serious and mystical use of her power, let me turn off my radio. That's better. That's better indeed. Of her power, the work ends on a lighthearted comedic note and by calling back to an emotion in the opening lines, the protagonist's attraction to ishzu, which she predicts and refuses, of course. Okay. Oh, chapter 1. I'm still learning how this app works. She had the slightest scowl on her face. That was probably the only detracting feature about her. She was slightly shorter than me, had a darkened complexion that showed she was not a native to Domino, and her outfit was absurd. She was adorned with what I could. I'm spitting on my phone. Oh, wait, that's not spit. um, she was adorned with what I could only assume was fine silk with all type of gold Egyptian imagery for jewelry. Most notably was the giant golden eye at the bottom of her collar. I think that's supposed to say collar, but cowl, and a similar eye draped across her collarbone. I already know the outcome of this duel, she said, with a hint of boredom in her voice. Let's get this over with so I can get on to the finals. Needless to say, she was overconfident. This was the first duel either of us were partaking in, partaking in Battle City, the tournament held by Kaiba Corp that turned Domino into a massive Duel Monsters competition. One of us was going home, and though she obviously would have a longer trip than I would in defeat, I was not about to let that stop me. We drew our 5 cards. I looked at my hand. 2 white magical hats, Axe of Despair, Magical Thorn, and Morphing Jar. It could be better, but it certain it certainly could be worse. Ladies first, I said nonchalantly. No, I insist. You may go first if you prefer. That's the nicest thing she's said to me since we met. I take her up on her offer, placing White Magical Hat in attack position and setting Magical Thorn face down. I then equip Axe of Despair to White Magical Hat. The reason for equipping was twofold. Of course, White Magical Hat's attack power is weak and on its own, but the other reason was if she played anything that could destroy a back row card, I wanted to distract from my trap. I end my turn. She draws. She places a monster face down and plays Swords of Revealing Light. Annoying, but manageable. I wasn't planning on winning through combat anyway. She ends her turn, but not before I activate Magical Thorn, making it so if she ever discards a card from her hand, she loses 500 life points. So it's basically like Skull Invitation. I'm going to guess I don't even know if Magical Thorn is a real card. I'm actually going to have to look that up. But it's basically Skull Invitation. But Skull Invitation is reciprocal. If any Skull Invitation activates whenever a card is sent to the graveyard by either player, and you lose 300 life points because of it. I draw. Delinquent Duo. Pretty good card for my current situation. I play it, pay 1,000 life points, and I pick a card for her to discard, while she does the same for herself. Thanks to Magical Thorn, she is also down 1,000 life points, 3,000 apiece. I place Morphing Jar face down and end my turn. She draws. She flips summons Medora in attack mode and hits my face down card. Big mistake on her part. Morphing Jar activates and I discard my spare white magical hat while she discards her 3 cards. We both then drew 5 cards. Thanks to Magical Thorn, she also loses 1,500 life points. She used her main phase 2 to place 2 cards face down and end her turn. When I drew my 6th card, I looked at what Morphing Jar was kind enough to grant me. The only thing you need to know is one of the cards was card destruction. Perfect. Without hesitation, I activate it, and half expected her to counter it, but she does not. We both discard our hands. Her life points are at 0. I win the duel. Very impressive, she says, her voice becoming surprisingly warm. Contrasting everything she has said to me thus far. My Millennium Necklace predicted this outcome, and I am on the right track. What? Right track? She approached me and undid the necklace she had around her her cleavage, holding it vertically with one hand. This necklace lets me see the future, and it saw that I would lose, but it also tells me I will be going to the finals to avenge my brother. How is that even remotely true? You just lost. Give me your locator card and your rarest card. As a matter of fact, Swords of Revealing Light might work well with my deck. She put the necklace back on. The Millennium Necklace allows me to play optimally by seeing the future that is to come. In order for you to have bested me, there must have been no potential outcome where how I would have played that would impact the duel. That doesn't really make much sense. Unless I missed a word. In order for you to have bested me, there must have been no potential outcome where how I would have played that would impact the duel. Now that's what it says. Okay, cool. Locator card. Do you know what cards I play? Do you know what cards I played down on my last turn? Trap hole and exchange of the spirit. Nothing that could stop your card destruction. If I didn't attack your morphine jar, you would have flipped it anyway. Next turn, activating its effect, if I didn't play Swords of Revealing Light, you would have no doubt been able to attack me with your strong white magical hat, enabling Magical Thorn to take a card from my hand. Congratulations, you have beaten me. But I am not giving you my locator card. Why not? Because my necklace tells me we come to an equitable agreement. Tell me, do you know the rules of Battle City? Yeah. Then surely you know that burn cards are forbidden. Cards like Hinutama and Magical Thorn. Oh, and being able to tell the future. Oh, sorry. Oh, and being able to tell the future isn't? Seto Kaiba is blinded by his skepticism and ego. He refuses to believe in his destiny that I am to beat him in a duel aboard his blimp. He will allow me to compete. You, on the other hand, not so much. The second he or his brother Mokuba sees your deck, you will be disqualified. But perhaps I can buy that locator card off of you. The woman reached into a pocket on the side of her dress and pulled out an emblem. It was in the shape of a pyramid with the eye of Horus etched in it, and it was a bright yellow. Being a tomb keeper has its benefits. She continued, this trinket I have is made out of 99% gold. You are going to trade me your locator card for it, and you are going to sell it for 2.5 million yen. How do I know that it isn't fake? I obliged. She smiled. I knew you would say that. My necklace tells me I am going with you to an appraiser. So she walked with me to the nearest appraiser, who offered to buy it for 2.5 million yen. She accepted and now had a massive stack of 10,000 yen bills in hand. Maybe her necklace does tell her the future. She seemed so confident I was going to take her up on her offer that she sold her doodad without hesitation. Resignation for the Battle City. Oh. Registration for the Battle City tournament was free, as Seto Kaiba saw me as a top-ranking duelist. If I turned down her offer, I could be disqualified at the finals, or worse, lose at the finals and walk away with nothing. Or even worse, never even make it to the finals. I consider myself to be a reasonable individual. I win a single duel, call it quits, and I don't have to worry about rent for the next 3 years. I lost my place. Or get myself a new car. My old one is starting to show its age. We make a trade. We make the trade. By the by the way, she says, my necklace tells me that this is where you intend to ask me out to dinner. The answer is no. Dang. She's really good at this whole predicting thing. I'm starting to think her necklace is magical after all. And that's it. um Overall it was a nice fan fiction. I do like how Ishizu just goes, my necklace tells me this is where you intend to ask me out for dinner, and the answer is a no. And the main character's like, well, thanks for the money. uh Magical Thorn. I think Magical Thorn sounds like a custom because it sounds like it's based off of Skull Invitation. The only difference between Magical Thorn and actually, let's eh, I'll search for it afterwards. Um I honestly wish that there was more to this story, but I understand why it's short because there was really nothing to it. The duel, well, it was what it was. Ishizu was being a Shizu. So yeah, good fan fiction overall. Um I'm Hardcore Christopher. If you would like to become a member of our community, hit the subscribe button down below and make sure you ring the bell and click all for every time I upload a video. If you don't, it's okay. I still respect you. At the end of the day, I'm just glad that you chose to spend a little bit of your time here with me. Keep it hardcore, everyone.